We'll start it with a howdy-o. What do you know? It is Rabbit of ScrubLeet Academy, and I'm here with Robo, and we are doing another tier list. Say hi.
Hello.
So basically, we're going to revisit our previous tier list, which was all of the enhancement trees in the game, which only took us an hour and 50 minutes or some crazy thing.
Really short video, hardly any discussion.
Thankfully, we split it up into parts. I'll throw those up on the top there, somewhere in the top right or whatever. And now we can go on and do all of the Hendrix the role player stuff, because we've actually tested most of these trees, and we could probably find a good place for them. We have to account for the new stuff that has happened with the abuse system and HP pass, and we're doing all of the Reaper and Universal trees. How excited are you?
Well, I only have about 5 seconds to dedicate to those Reaper trees, so I'll let you. We could start with that.
We could start with that. Or we could move things around to begin with, so that everything is right where we want it when we get into these 9 ones at the bottom. How do you want to do
Yeah, no
this?
problem. Well, I have very
that way.
little to say about the Reaper ones, but we'll do it your way.
Yeah. Well, that way we just we tackle the new stuff when we tackle it. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. So, I think the first thing we want to do is just kind of go through the tiers and see if everything is okay. I think we discussed Angel of Vengeance should probably go down a tier.
Yes.
Where do you think it kind of fits now?
So what are our tiers exactly?
Oh yeah. So basically, Absolute God tier this is like the best thing in the game. Amazing.
Yes.
This thing will function pretty much every time, no matter what. You could probably screw up and it'll still function. Good. It's a nice tree. It's got cool themes to it, but it's not the strongest in the game. So this is basically like a support kind of range. Average. This is one of those things where something does that thing better, but it can still work. And then you get into not good, which something does that thing better and it doesn't really do its thing very well either. And then absolute garbage tier, which is probably self-explanatory.
Yes. Okay.
And then we've got Hendrix the role player, which we might take advantage of again. That's kind of like we don't really know where this thing goes, but you might get some street cred if you decide to play it.
Well, yes.
So that's our basic tier system.
Yes.
As we mentioned, though, Angel of Vengeance got huge nerfs to its caster level since we did this list, so we should probably bump that down because it's not actually as good as it used to be.
Well, I think it's twofold the problem. They got the nerf, Divine Disciple got the buff.
That is true. 1 second, actually. Here, I'm just going to help you out here.
Oh.
You should be able to see what I can see now.
Oh, that'll make it a lot easier.
That'll make it a lot easier. Oh man, ScrubLeet Academy beginning. All right.
Oh, no.
So I put Angel of Vengeance here. It's sort of temporary space while we try to figure out exactly where it goes, but I think it's probably not as good now as even Tempest, so it might just be comfortable there. Because, it's powerful, but it lost so much with the caster levels there that it was originally one of the best trees in the game, and now it's just kind of good at what it does.
Yeah, and I think because everything is relative, maybe my opinion of it is even getting lower because of how much better Divine Disciple got. I actually think Divine Disciple is better than Angel of Vengeance.
Yeah, I think it's probably somewhere between here and Tempest. I'm going to throw it there because it's tough to tell which one is better between the two now, but they're pretty competitive either way. Divine Disciple, you can get all the cores now, and it's just the domains are just kind of cool and fun to play around with. I think for funness, I would put it ahead.
Oh, I think for power.
You think for power, it's a little bit more powerful?
The leveling curve, the SLAs you have access to as a Divine Disciple cleric between your domain and in the enhancement tree is insane.
Oh, that's true. Actually, the Flame Strike SLA is the big one that comes to mind. The 8 mana cost Flame Strikes everywhere.
Yes.
I think it's 8.
Meta magic all to hell. Flame Strike's a huge damage spell.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing so much more damage than Angel of Vengeance. Comet Fall SLA.
Oh, sorry. No, it's not Flame Strike. It's Firestorm. Even better.
Yes.
Yeah.
But even Holy Smite is insane damage.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the tier 5 of it's making it always do the best version of itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think Divine Disciple does probably creep ahead. The thing is, it might even be better than Tempest, but I'm not sure where it would go. And it just kind of feels right to put those two together.
I haven't done fully an end game version.
Yeah.
But leveling up
Well, I noticed how crazy it was originally. Now, mind you, you were also leveling the Necro version, weren't you?
I did both.
Yeah.
So I've tested both. The light version, just as strong. The Necro version, Necrotic Ray is insane.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Necrotic Ray is like the highest damage spell in the game for single target is silliness.
Oh yeah, it's like 1d6, and you're like, oh, then just this little D, like ball plus 12. There you go. I think it's more than that though, isn't it?
It's a d6 plus 12 per caster.
It's plus 12. Okay, yeah, that's insane.
It's enormous. It's the best spell for single target in the game.
Yeah.
As far as the archetypes, I don't think we're going to get into them for a while until this new batch comes out, and then we can do all of them together.
No archetypes necessary. Like Holy Smite as an SLA. This is doing what 2d6 plus 8 per caster level for you.
I believe it was that, yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's AoE too, boys and girls. Like.
Yeah, it doesn't play around. You end batches.
Oh, and by the way, alignment damage. Yeah, things don't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
They just take it.
Yeah, no, that's why I think it's probably better than the position that it's in. So that one take with a grain of salt, but anything that ends up in amazing tier is like top tier of what it's going to be if it's not a god.
But yes, I actually do think it does deserve up on this list. I think it's a no-brainer, better than a couple of the ones on this list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, it's better than that druid over there. It's better than that druid over there.
Nature's Protector, you mean?
Yes, and I actually think, personally, that there's a lot of bias here. Someone's going to have to talk me off that it's not better than freaking goddamn Air Savant, too.
Yeah, thankfully it's already better than Air Savant.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Air Savant's in good tier. Speaking of, I think we've pretty much hit up everything that we would change in Amazing, because I think the rest of it's probably still fine.
Right.
Good tier. We have, I think maybe Soul Eater doesn't quite belong there, but I kind of still think it's good. I just don't think it's exactly there. I don't think Shintao necessarily belongs in good tier after doing a bit of retrospective work on it myself. And we spoke about War Chanter. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, I don't know. I can't. As much as I want to make an argument to move War Chanter up, I actually can't move it up. I think I might have overrated it before, and now with the upgrade, it's finally where my mind had it before. We'll just put it that way.
I think like that's the best it can be is right there, and it's probably fine there. I think we mentioned Shintao could either move to the end of good or even the beginning of average. I feel like it belongs there more than anything else.
Where's Spellsinger, by the way, or is that way in the top? That's way in the top.
Yeah,
never mind.
Spellsinger's up there. Spellsinger is like top tier.
Never mind. It's in the heavens where it belongs.
Now, by comparison, Stalwart at least deserves to be sitting right next to Kensai. As far as tanking, I think the extra HP that it got, just with the quality and the extra bonuses, puts it to a level that it's actually a competitive tank. And it doesn't belong where like Ravager would be.
I actually think it's better than Angel of Vengeance.
You think it's better than Angel of Vengeance?
Yes.
Having played one of these significantly, I don't think that it's actually better than Angel of Vengeance. Because even with an undergeared, pathetic AoV, I was still able to take a lot of hits and basically instantly wipe out everything that was fighting me.
Yes.
A Stalwart is basically a very slow way to whittle yourself down to chip damage.
Well, and the problem is you don't have that energy drain immunity in heroics.
Yeah, that's the problem, is Stalwart doesn't have all that cool stuff that makes Sacred Defender earn its spot at the top, basically.
Yeah.
So, you could argue it's better or worse than Kensai, but once again, it's like putting them together is just fine.
Well,
Kensai still got the second win just like Stalwart did.
I actually think that Stalwart's got some interesting stuff. Like I like how it gets the quality in
yes.
We're 12 levels now.
Yeah, it competes with the Sacred Defender Sacred bonus kind of thing.
It's better for multi-classes because it's only 12 instead of 18.
Exactly, yeah. Difference being, of course, you can get, if you're going for tanking, you can get quality pretty quickly in some of the Epic Destiny trees.
Yes. Although it's still an extra 5%, so there is that in mind.
Yeah. Oh, and of course in the Dwarf tree, but, maybe we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But, its bonus isn't as good, but it's more achievable. And that's fair to probably put it up there at least.
Yeah. Obviously, if you were multi-classing, you'd be using something to offset the negative immunities, like 3 levels of wizard or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
But that's where its benefit comes over the paladin. It's a better multi-classing tank tree.
I think that's definitely true. Like, if you wanted, you could go, say, 12 levels into this, as you mentioned, and you'd still have a chunky tank, and then you could take some more armor class from somewhere else, or just more mechanics and fun stuff.
Because, fighter gets cool things like extra feats, like maybe your tank can have whirlwind attack now. There's stuff.
Yeah, and whirlwind attack is so easy to achieve now.
Yes, that's another change
to
the game. Yeah, and that's another change to the game. I think you just need dodge and mobility, don't you?
I think it is just dodge and mobility. It might just be... Yeah, no, because they got rid of Combat X and they got rid of Spring Attack. That's what it was. Yep. So it's dodge and mob.
Yep.
Big deal.
Way better. Those extra fighter feats, Anyway.
Yeah, big deal. So I think it's fair to at least bump it to good.
Because it's getting better in both ways. It's better pure than it used to be, and it's better multi-class than it ever was. And it was always good at multi-class for 3 or 4.
Yep.
But now you have a reason to go even more fighter, like 12 levels of fighter is a little tempting. More second wins, another change to the game.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's some of these changes to fighters actually really amplified Stalwart. Like the tree got touched and it got improved.
Yes.
And they then got a little even extra by the fact that fighter got improved.
Yes. Now I'm going to make a couple of quick changes here, and I'm going to see what your opinion is after. I think this probably deserves top spot, and Ravi probably beats at least Shintao, in my opinion. Because Blood Strength playing through it again is phenomenal.
I tried to make the argument for that last time, and I was poo-pooed. Yeah,
well, you got to test some things out. You got to do some stuff. But I think, like...
Got in the lab. Yeah. What did you put in the...
I had to play Barbarian, okay? I basically have already gone through enough.
TA is on the top end of average.
I think TA is phenomenal, the way that you've been playing it. And not phenomenal in the sense that other things couldn't do what it does better, but as far as a quarterstaff build, it's probably the best you can get. I still think Henshin Mystic probably isn't amazing, but it might be a little better than I give it credit for. It's just that it's super complicated, and I think that's
what are the things that are above it?
Above which?
TA,
Henshin, Ravager.
Yeah. So Ravager you have ahead of TA?
Ravager I have behind TA.
Oh, okay. TA to top.
TA does more damage. It does its thing better than
What's
Ravager.
Above it in another tier? Let's see. So Nature's Warrior, that is?
Yep.
Soul Eater,
Air Savant, Eldritch Knight Wizard, Arcane Archer, War Chanter, Kensai, Stalwart.
Okay.
And I think that's probably fair, because TA still has real survivability issues when it comes to at-level content.
Well, I can't put TA above Kensai, because I don't think TA is better than Kensai.
It's not as powerful as Kensai, and actually Kensai has significantly more survivability now, so TA is the best of average. Like, things can do its job better, but you're going to find some fun with it.
Yes.
As far as that, I think we've pretty much covered everything except for maybe the Vile Chemist.
Yes.
So Vile Chemist, by itself, it still has the Imbue dice, and it can still shut off poison immunity. Yes. I don't know exactly where that's going to put it. Probably still not above not good, but it's better than the worst tree in the game. Now,
War
Priest is the worst now.
If you run it with, say, something like, Inquisitive, and you really get them Imbue dice up, it's tremendous amounts of damage. And Poison's not a reliable damage type, but it is when you can shut off immunities.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it might still be an absolute garbage tier by itself. Partly because, the only way to make throwing weapons good is to be level 26 or higher. That's pretty much it. And I don't feel like... First of all, the thing that makes throwing weapons good isn't even in the base enhancement trees, so they fail by themselves.
No.
But, it's just the worst gameplay style.
No, what you're really doing is you're stacking up a million of those dice, you shut off immunities, then you hit no holds barred, and then you win.
Exactly. So I feel like because of the Imbue dice, it probably bumps it at least a stage ahead, but it's tough to justify putting it too far ahead, because, throwing weapons are so bad. Simple weapons are not really great either.
Yeah.
And by itself, without any multi-classing...
What's the things that are with it right now?
with Vile
In
Chemist on
the
the same tier.
garbage tier, yeah. I can't read
Archmage,
that.
Water Savant, Earth Savant, Kensai Vanguard Fighter, and War Priest.
Okay.
The argument is there, huh? Just like,
I mean, I love War Priest.
I love War Priest. It's the worst. It's the worst tree in the game.
But maybe I have an affinity for the underdogs because I'm like, I wanted to boost all these little guys.
I actually used to play a mainline War Priest, and yeah. No, there's just so little you can do with it. Even with the new domains, there's so little you can do with it.
The next playtest I actually want to do on that is with the new archetype, so it's kind of more for that.
Yeah.
Because the War Priest gets some imbue dice, and the archetype gets more imbue dice.
I think that'll be interesting, yeah.
No, I think I would use the archetypes one, though, with it, because it's... anyway, that's for a different conversation, but yeah.
But it'll be interesting. So now we can get into Hendrix, the role player, and just sort of cover where these 5 go. Arcanotechnician, I don't think it's going to be super controversial. I think I'm going to put it probably right about there. I think that's a fair spot for it. Having played a level 31, it can do some cool stuff. It's got some interesting mechanics. It's not that good. Season's Herald probably beats it. Henshin Mystic definitely beats it. Enlightened Spirit doesn't really do its thing super well, so I think it probably fits right there. Because at least Arcanotechnician, it's an evocation caster all the way through. Your CC is evocation, your damage is evocation. It just kind of fits, but it's not amazing.
Yeah. But...
And I feel like that's where we put it before, isn't it?
I think it was kind of... Yeah, I think you always thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm not really 100% sold on the Artificer spell list. But...
Yeah, there's not a huge amount there, but there are some really cool mechanics and a couple of really powerful spells. But generally, no, they're not beating like any mainline... they're not beating Air Savant, ever. They won't even come close to touching the grand cloud that Fire Savant lays on.
Yes.
But they're probably beating water just because everything resists water, and they're beating earth because earth is all dots, and that sucks.
Yes.
So I think it's fair. I think after playing Enlightened Spirit and Arcano, they're close in terms of goodness. Enlightened Spirit probably is a little weaker at what it's supposed to do, which is kind of be like the tanky tree or the two-handed tree, both of which it's gimp at. Like, it's not good at what it's supposed to do, and it's not really clear exactly what it's supposed to do. Arcano's kind of the same, except it's clear what it's supposed to do, it just can't do it. Vanguard Paladin, that one's going to be an interesting one, because it definitely works. So where do you think it goes? Because you probably played more of these than I have.
Oh, well, I need to make a comment about this fighter Vanguard, just being where he is. He actually belongs a little higher.
You think so?
Yep.
Where does he belong exactly?
Well, I had him down lower back in the old days of fighter, but now with things like Second Wind.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that does kind of bump him up a little bit.
The fact of the matter is, he is a fighter. Like, getting crit profiles and stuff like that is not that hard. He can have the feats.
Yeah, but Vanguard by himself. I don't think he gets great crit. He does with his shield, but shields are a subpar damage item.
Then he gets an overwhelming crit,
Yeah. So, I mean, I could see an argument for not good, but by itself, it's not amazing.
I just can't give the Pally credit for his spells and not give the fighter any say that for 11 points you can get the multiplier too.
Very true. I think we could bump him up to not good, somewhere in this general range. Definitely better than Swashy.
Yeah, because he really does outperform a lot of the things that are rated below. Like, I actually think a fighter Vanguard probably...
You can make him good.
Outperforms an Arcanotechnician.
Probably, yeah. In terms of just, like, staying alive and doing what he does, I think Arcano would outperform it in terms of damage output and heroics. And that's the big thing that I would gauge it. It's just the impact of the thing. I mean, Vanguard's not amazing in heroics. It takes a bit to build up.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, it does have Second Wind. It does have the HP 25%. That's a big couple of things there.
Let's be honest. You probably go 41 Kensai and 30 some odd whatever.
Yeah, you're probably doing a Vanguard Pally split with it, but with Kensai.
Yes. And you get the same results. You get the same results, is what I'm saying. Kensai is a very...
Speaking of Vanguard Paladin, Now, if it were me, as my opinion, I would throw it into average by itself.
Yeah.
Because it's not amazing by itself. But it can do what it needs to do, and Paladin is better than Fighter as a general rule. Now, if I was going to guess, I mean, I could see an argument for anywhere, probably in the latter half, somewhere in this general range.
Right.
Now, it doesn't really matter to me. I could put it right there. It doesn't matter. I could put it over here if it doesn't really concern you, but it's definitely in that bracket of 3, because these guys are pretty much neck and neck, I think.
Yeah, I think I would actually put. I mean, I haven't tested at 30, so I can't speak definitively.
I
but
have definitely
I'll say
tested it at 30. I just haven't tested it leveling, so you've got that experience, and I've got the other.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
at
I've tested
30,
it leveling.
it's insane. It's
Although
like the
my
best.
TA is a little different than yours, isn't it?
Oh, you're talking TA, sorry. Vanguard, I was talking about. TA,
Oh, no,
I
I've done
haven't
both.
gotten to 30. No.
Okay, I've done both for Vanguard. So Vanguard, I've done.
Yeah.
Well,
Vanguard now is insanity, with the epic stuff included. With heroics, not quite as big a deal, but still
actually,
okay.
The epics level 30. It's literally just one thing in the epic destinies that is the only thing that makes me put paladins ahead of the fighters. Now that you've touched the epic destinies.
Yes, that is the divine shield.
Yeah, that gives double strike to the paladin shield, but not a Kensai focus. Like if you've got it doesn't add it as your a Kensai focus weapon, which would be literally the same thing. And it would literally balance it perfectly.
Or just get rid of the fact that it could be a favored weapon and just say it has double strike. And balance it perfectly either way. Then
I mean, the person's going all the way in the top tier. I mean, let them have it.
Yeah, anybody could use it. You could have a swashbuckler who could use it.
Yeah, they just have to have a shield.
They got a buckler.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I know you could swashbuckle without, but, well, do you really wanna? That's 10 dodge. Everything else is just a toy. So, anyway, 3 left. Ninja Spy. I don't think this beat's not good. I just don't know where I would put it.
Kind of absolute garbage tier.
I feel like it's correct.
It can help with one build.
Yeah, it's
there
not
is a Shuriken
super amazing. And even then, it helps with the Shuriken, but it's not the best for it. Oh my goodness. In terms of what it does, like at 18 and 20, it beats War Priest, but it's not amazing. Probably there. I think that's probably the best spot for it.
Well, the thing is that for leveling, it's absolute garbage.
Oh yeah, it's total trash.
You don't get range. You don't get range to level 12, and you don't get multiplier to level.
Yep.
What is it? 20.
20. It is 20. It is capstone.
Oh, and by the way, a lot of that sneak attack dice backloaded. Core 5 and 6.
I feel like I should probably put that. Even Vile Chemist beats that.
Core 5 gives you burst 5 sneak attack dice.
Yep.
And then the final one gives you a static 5.
Yep.
It's not great.
Yes. No, it's probably fine right there. It's like second worst tree in the game. It's just not good. Apothecary. Alright, this might be a little controversial, but based upon how I play Alchemist, I would put it right there. It still can heal really well. I have to admit, it can actually do something. It's just that potion mechanics suck. And they're some of the worst ways of getting that healing to people.
Yeah, well...
It's the worst healer in the game, in my opinion.
Let's be honest. You get a cure, a heal SLA that's, got an AoE effect or Core 5. That's pretty crazy.
Like, it's a chunky healing type. It's just the way you administer the heals to me. It always comes across as dirtily.
It's worse than dirtily.
And it makes it's too problematic.
Wait.
Uh-oh.
They get better than Radiant Servant? Okay.
Uh-oh.
So they get no max caster level with curative admixtures and any Guild Leaf Alchemist spells.
Oh my goodness. Do they really?
Yes. Now, is the heal Is that a Guild Leaf spell? I guess is the real question.
Probably, because the healing spells would be the green spells, would they not?
Yes, that's Guild Leaf, right? Yes.
No
it's
max
a curative
caster
admixture
level
anyway.
heal.
It's a Guild Leaf and it's a curative admixture, so you're good. So no max caster level on their heal.
That's pretty chunky. What's the base max caster? Is it 15?
So yes, so it's 10 HP per caster level.
And this would make it 32. Well, that changes the nature of things. Now, here's the thing.
And that's an SLA, by the way, so like meta magic that up, boys and girls.
Can you meta magic them properly? Some of them just don't work.
Oh no, the curative admixture heal is all the meta magics. Empower healing, maximize, intensify, and accelerate. You just throw that out there, and it's just like, well, here's the thing. I don't want
Alchemist going anywhere, or Alchemist in general.
Do they have any? I mean, obviously, Genius never dies. Memes aside, I think
memes aside. Oh yeah,
Hendrix
Genius never dies. Puts them a little. I don't know. Where would heal spell no caster cap put them? Because that's pretty chunky.
That's really freaking strange.
Yeah. But I don't. It just feels dirty putting them up there because I know how they play. That's the problem.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if I would actually grade them too high, though. Because once again, like, AoE heals are so much easier with every other healer. Especially with the way people run around and kite things. I could see putting it somewhere in the middle of good. I think that's probably as far as I would be willing to go for it, unless you've got an argument for it. Max caster heal is great, but it's just such a terrible playstyle.
Well, I still hate the thing that it does.
Yeah, it's such a dirtily playstyle that you'd have to deal with that throughout the entire gameplay experience.
They've got SLAs that do damage scaling off your positive spell power, like spill the bad stuff. Like that's a weird one. Like 1d6 plus 4 per caster level, random type of damage to enemies in a short cone. It all scales with positive spell power, though. Ugh. Effective enemies have a chance to be blinded, dazed, silenced, tripped, stunned, or paralyzed.
Oh my goodness. They designed this tree to just be broken, didn't they? Alright, well, we're just going to leave it alone, because this will run on too long, I think.
Yeah, anyway.
Eldritch Knight Sorcerer. We'll just quickly throw this guy somewhere, and then we can get onto these stuffs down here. And we might need to split this into 2 videos. Wow. I feel like if Archmage is down here, EK's got to go down here as well.
It's better than Archmage.
It's better than Archmage, but it's like the best of the worst. Because Eldritch Knight is good, but Eldritch Knight Sorcerer doesn't get any of the necro stuff that you would normally associate with Pale Master.
It's still better than Ninja Spy.
Everything's better than... I feel like Ninja Spy is still... Because it takes so long to come online, I feel like it might just need to go to the worst.
Yeah, what's that
Even
thing
War
that's
Priest
right
can
there?
heal party members.
Fucking War Priest is 100 times better than Ninja Spy. At least War Priest does a thing.
Poor Ninja Spy.
First of all, Cleric rolls out of bed better than a freaking monk.
Oh yeah, easily.
Second of all, Ninja Spy? Ninja Spy sucks.
Oh, no, Cleric doesn't because it doesn't get the speed boost. To be fair, the speed boost in their battle res does kind of give them an edge. In a manner of speaking.
They get sacred. Well, not Ninja Spy. Ninja Spy doesn't get it.
Ninja Spy doesn't get it. That's why Shintao's up there, and Ninja Spy is down here.
Yeah, where Ninja Spy is right where it belongs.
Ninja Spy, if we had a tier that was like worse than absolute garbage, we'd just put that one in there.
It's the worst in the game.
It's so bad. I wish it was better because being a ninja would be so cool, but it's just the worst.
The sad thing is, it had abilities before that didn't work. They fixed those abilities.
It got better, and it's still like the worst tree that we've ever graded.
Yeah. For whatever reason, the ninja, he's just not as good as poisoning things as just regular old rogue assassin.
Yeah, who happens to be up here, by the way. Anyway, I think it's time we can move on to these if you want. We can burn through these ones pretty quickly and just kind of make them their own video.